Alright, welcome back to another episode. So now, that thing's done. Now we're going to look at this guy. 2011, 350, 6.7 power stroke. This is the one with the head issues, diesel leak, etc. So, currently getting the, I guess my idea how I want to tackle this. First things first. I mean, as I described, if you ever want to tell there's combustion gases, smell the top of the cap. Smells like exhaust. Combustion gases from the cylinders are making their way to the coolant system. We already know that. But just so you know. We know the excess oil from the turbo lines from both cold side and hot side. It's all over the place. And you never want to see red powder, by the way. That means they're using only water, they're not putting coolant in it, and that plugs up coolers, which we don't like. Okay, so first things first, before we do anything with this truck, we're going to check for codes. So we're going to go here to PCM, enter the module. Again, this is the Maximus 5.0 from MacCook Tools. If you do this, they're good scanners. I really got no complaints about them. They do everything I want them to do. Easy to use, very nice. I'm going to retrieve the code, see if there's any codes. PCM, there's 0 codes on the PCM. That's good. Okay, so we're going to back out. We're going to go to the transmission control module. We're going to enter that module. We're going to check it for codes. Default code. Now, what we are going to do before we can tear a lot of this stuff apart. We are going to flush this system with water. It's pretty much like a water hose. We're going to fill it up. We're just going to fill and dump a couple times. Try to get as much of that gnarly shit out of there as we can. We will probably go ahead and replace the oil cooler. Reason being is I don't believe it's been changed, and the 11s are also really notorious for the coolers cracking internally and making a slushy. So missing communication with engine control module. We're going to snag a picture of that just so we know. We want to know what codes we had prior. This could be part of the wiring issue. If you don't want to take a look here, all this stuff is what's really going on there. Fantastic wiring. And this ground cable is like it's beat to hell. Somebody literally beat the damn thing on there to try to get it to stick. This one over here, I guess electrical tape there. I'm guessing it's kind of looks like it's a little frail there, like it wants to break off. Ground shaft looks pretty good here. This one looks bad, so we'll probably try to recommend possibly replacing battery cables for this truck. It'd be more ideal. Batteries aren't even strapped in. Is this one at least strapped in? Absolutely not. Hell yeah. Okay. So we know we got one code there, and there was also something with the brake system. We'll back out and we'll go the ABS module. See what we find in here. It gives a service brake, and the brake light or emergency brake stays on. The light stays on anyway. See what's going on with that. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Brake fluid level low, missing communication with ECM. That's weird. Why is that? That makes no sense. Steering angle sensor. Okay. And then anti ABS power source failure. That's interesting. It could be a fuse, and I say that because if we come over here to the passenger side of the truck, somebody's been over here, and there is a fuse box over here for stuff like that. I don't remember exactly which one it is. They kind of vary between the metal bodies and the aluminum bodies. Obviously, a lot of changes in the trucks. So we're going to take a picture of this for documentation. Perfect. That should be it. I'm going to fire this thing up real quick just so everybody can hear it. Put my phone in the spot that it won't fall to the abyss. We will go here though. We'll go to data stream. Once it loads. Oh boy. And then let's see. We'll see how the fuel system does. It does start kind of hard when it's hot or when it's been sitting, which tells me there's probably getting some water in the cylinders, so it's having a hard time pushing it out. It's not to the point yet to where it's like gonna hydrolock. It's not far from it. Right now it should be fine, but prior was an issue. Let's see. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So we got the regulator on here, which is on the pump. We don't have the volume controller, so let's start this thing up. Oh, never mind. She's not going to start. Okay. Batteries are too low, which probably has a lot to do with the wonderful connections. That's fine. Fine with me. Figures it's about right. I know this ground here ain't worth a damn, and that positive on that side ain't worth a damn neither. Which means we're probably trying to pull off one battery. Yeah, see how flimsy that is? That means that connection's not worth it. Yeah. I cannot tell you how important battery connections are in any truck, especially diesels. Especially when these things go to crank. I mean, they're pulling 1600 amps, 1500 amps, somewhere in there. So, which is why you have two batteries, right? Because each battery is about, they average between 650 to 800 cold cranking amps, depending on which truck and which variant, right? But if the connection is not good and we're not able to pull up amps, it'll pull slow. It'll also eat the batteries up. So if you're, say the connection on that one's not that good, the one over here is pretty good, it's going to kill this battery very quick because this one's not doing any work and this one's trying to do everything. Also, loose connections, whether positive or ground, can cause shorts because connections will get hot because the connection will like intermit. That's been known to blow fuses, destroy relays, etc. That's what we're looking at, though. So, without further ado, let's start tearing some stuff out, and we'll start flushing the primary coolant system on this truck. We won't touch the second. Secondary looks good. She's still got some coolant in there. I don't know if you can really tell. It's orange. This is, of course, this system does not. Smells just like good coolant. It's a little low, but the system smells good. We will flush that while we're here, though, but that's not yet. That's the primary. So, knowing that it's just water in it, I'm kind of curious how much water is even in it. Because now the other problem is, so we got to clean that out, and we got to clean all the other hoses out too. Oh, the fun. Just more labor. Well, let's dig into her.
Listen up, says my teacher. In front of the class, he says if you're not a believer, I've views, that's on you. Better shape up and pay your dues. I've my views, that's on you. I'll be on a flight soon to the end. I sing you. Gotta know all this propaganda. How do you do? Better get it in my own medicine for you. Never gonna make them think I'll stand there. breath, like the fire you'll soon remember. Ooh. I'll be on the fleeting till the end, I'm singing. Ooh, gotta know this propaganda. How do you do for all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge? Hand like John, I let loose. Don't mind if I do. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. Hand like John, I let loose. Don't mind if I do.
Alright, y'all been watching. I've been tearing this thing down. I'll have some company over here talking with me. Got our fire salt there. Although they're not a sponsor, but, you know, shout out. But this is where we are on this 6.7, so the battery out. Air intake, all that good stuff. Got the coolant bridge out of the way, coolant line of turbo, intake, fuel filter. What we're going to be working on now is we're going to pull the crossover lines out. So the high pressure line that feeds the passenger rail and the two that feed the driver, we're going to pull those off. I got to pull the low pressure lines off, these two sending in return. There's one little quick line there that goes to the rail. That's the volume valve, whatever excess fuel volume off the rail, that valve on the very back of the rail. We'll show that guy back there. We'll send up to that line and then go back to the filter to the return. Or excuse me, at the return, but the whatchamacallit? No, I'm getting all freaking sideways here. Actually, the return line, excuse me, goes right there back to the tank. And so we're going to pull the low pressure lines off, then we'll pull the high pressure lines off. We are going to pull the regulator off this pump just for grins, just to see. It's a T25 head there. Again, you can tell aftermarket turbo. You can see all the excess oil. This is from the cold side pipe. That's all from the hot side pipe. Didn't have a lot of excess oil, and I mean, you could tell it's real wet in there. We'll be doing a crankcase delete from what after I talked to him about it. So we're gonna do the crankcase delete. He may or may not do the battery cables. He's thinking about it. We are going to change the fuel line on the bottom of the truck. I didn't mention that earlier. The fuel line on the bottom by the cooler on the frame rail is leaking. That is what's given that little puddle right there. And the upper oil pan is starting to leak, but it's not leaking really. It's seeping. Which I pretty much told him was like probably because of the filter's plugged up. So we'll just get rid of that. See what it does, and until it gets real bad, we'll worry about it then, kind of thing. Because I don't really see the purpose in changing them. Or it's an expensive job, right? Because I mean, even we're doing all this, and this has nothing to do with that, so that's a whole other charge there. And typically, do an upper oil pan, rear main seal, all that stuff. You're give or take, I'm just spitballing here, about 1,700 parts and labor to do. Takes really 3 days to do it right, because it has to do a 24-hour drip dry per Ford before you put the pan back on. But yeah, that's where we're at. This may or may not be the end of episode, whatever episode this is. May or may not, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's where we are. So we're going to finish tearing into it and see what's going on. Not too bad though. Not too bad. I mean, there's a lot to these motors, but it's not, I wouldn't say anything that's too overly complicated. This is a lot of stuff. A lot of little pieces. For 6.4s are all big pieces, but let's keep tearing into it. Alright, that'll definitely conclude it for this episode and definitely for today. So we're at pretty much most top side is off now. We got the brackets off. Head brackets off the head, secondary water pumps off the head. And all we gotta really do now is pull the up pipe from the passenger, remove the turbo, or do the clamps and down pipe, all that stuff, pull the turbo out, pull all the remaining injector lines, plugs off the injectors, the return lines that are on them, these guys here, and then the glow plug harness. Pull those off, get the rails off the sides of the heads, pull the intake / valve cover off, and then matter of getting valve train out, the manifolds, and then bust head bolts, and the heads are off, and that's it. So really, I don't know, 4 hours worth of work maybe, depending on how these fight. These can change things. Shouldn't be too bad though, I wouldn't think. But we shall see. That's where we're at. That's where we're going to leave it. And I'll see y'all possibly tomorrow or next episode, depending on how I cut this up. I don't know. We'll see. It's like a guessing game. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for, I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours going at it. Good morning. Another beautiful day. Today we got a 2006 Ram 2500 5.9 liter Cummins with a 48 RE transmission. Customer states truck feels like it's fuel loading pretty heavy sometimes, so it feels kind of sluggish, and then also it'll surge when you're really getting into it. So pretty much higher RPMs trying to peg it out, which is whatever. So just first glance here, pop on the hood, we have the Banks intake with the grid heater delete. Factory radiator, looks like to be an aftermarket. Charge air cooler has a newer trans cooler and an AFE cold air intake. I didn't even see that earlier. That's funny. AFE cold air intake, still got factory head bolts, factory manifold, factory turbo. Pretty much a stock truck. Got 180 something thousand miles on her. Quad cab long bed. So these are like my favorite 5.9 trucks right here. They look the best in my opinion. Current codes are intake air system performance. That's to be expected considering that it's not even on the truck. And then the overdrive lockup solenoid P1740. That right there could be a big indication why it's surging, because if it's starting to fail, it'll unlock and relock, which will cause the truck to surge, but we'll have to see. So first things first, we'll be doing injector cutouts on the truck and testing injectors, because it does have, that's the thing I didn't mention, is so this truck, he had this about 4 to 5 months or so now. Prior owner paid somebody, or they bought and put in Pensacola 90 horse injectors. If anybody knows anything about Pensacola injectors, they are absolute shit. Very, very, very low quality, bottom of the barrel. I wouldn't put those in a truck I was just going to shit can. They're complete garbage. So quite confident, those are acting up. I've seen a lot of those, a lot of complaints where they've had nozzles break off and fall in the cylinders and costing the customer an engine. And then of course other people who've just like been through warranty nightmare, having the warranty injectors freaking every 2,000 miles. So again, quality is the key to anything, right? Again, Cummins are pretty resilient motors, as anybody really knows, whether you hate them or not. They're proven to be pretty damn reliable, and even with really minor fixing. So when it comes to fixing anything, obviously quality is what you want to use if you want your truck to last and be dependable. cutting corners on something as important as injectors, which are the primary, most important thing in making this engine really fire, excluding rotating assembly, you know, something I would not cut corners on. But hey, some people, you know, want to rub pennies together, I guess, and make magic. But so we're going to fire this sucker. We already know the codes we got, nothing crazy. We're going to fire up. We're going to do some ejector cutouts. We're going to drive it around, see what we can find, see what we can come up with, and see what we bring the verdict to. So we'll see. Alright, well, we drove it around. We, you know, put it through its paces, got it warmed up. Did the overdrive acceleration, pretty much where it locks in, just keep pushing the throttle. Don't let it downshift, just force it to use the engine solely to accelerate. Everything seems fine, turbo's working fine, able to get about 28, 29 pounds of boost out of the turbo, which is perfect. The one thing we did notice is that it's very sluggish. So it feels like you're driving a stock 12 valve. Like she has no power on the top end at all, which is not normal even for a stock third gen. So pretty much it seems like the injectors are not firing hard, but you cut out test everything. And also when you rev it up, they float down like they're bleeding out. Hard starts like they're bleeding out. So we made a determination. We're going to put injectors in the truck. We're going to run the deck on it. We're going to do the valve lash because it needs it. Because we fired it up cold, which you'll be able to hear in the video I recorded. But you could hear the valves. I mean, they're very chattery. About every 150,000 miles on a 24 valve Cummins with tappets, the deck needs to be ran. You can go longer, obviously. I've seen some people go 300k, but you run risk of knocking a rocker off or bending the push rod, stuff like that. Just don't do it. But that's what we're going to do. We're not going to do it right now. It's going to go back home to its owner, but it will come back. So we're going to do that and probably have some custom tuning done for it. And after that, I mean, once she has injectors that work correctly, that are quality and good tuning, this thing will run very good. It'll do its job well. It'll pull good. It'll drive good, the way it was intended, the way God intended. Yep, that's going to be it for this old Dodge Ram tonight, or today. So until it comes back, let's see what other stuff we can get into. Possibly the old Ford right there.